I've been stewing on Homage watches and how I feel about them for a while now. On the one hand, I admire brands for making popular models more accessible, but on the other hand, I feel like they ride a little too close to the line of plagiarism. So, when are Homage watches okay? What is the line between inspired by and stealing? And throughout this video, I'll probably tell you some of my favorite homages. If you're new here, my name is Brittany, and on this channel, we just talk all things watches. Before we go any further, I need to disclose, this isn't the area I feel the most comfortable in talking about. This isn't the area I feel like I know the most in. But it's something I've been thinking about a lot lately, so I thought it'd be fun to turn on the camera and overanalyze together. So, if you're not as deep into watches, I would define an homage as a timepiece designed to replicate the look or spirit of a famous or iconic model, usually from a luxury brand. The big distinguishing factor in an homage is that they do not claim to be the original. They won't use counterfeit logos or branding like a replica or super clone would. The real aim of an homage is to offer a similar design and wearing experience at a more accessible price point by using different materials, lower grade movements, and not having to create an entirely new design. I will put some examples up while I'm saying this. Some of these will be closer to the original than others. And I need to say that there is no perfect science to this or clean-cut definition on when a watch steps out of being an homage and into being its own thing, or a watch that took inspiration from another. Take something like this, the San Martin White Bay Pro, as I like to call it, versus the watch it's referencing, the Tudor Black Bay Pro. Pretty dang similar. Then, let's compare this to the Christopher Ward C63 Sealander GMT, which seems to have taken inspiration from the Rolex Explorer 2, but clearly these are quite different watches. So, when does the spectrum of replica end and inspiration begin? To me, I wouldn't call the Christopher Ward an homage. I think they have changed enough elements that it has its own unique design, to me at least, but this was clearly inspired by other fixed bezel GMTs. I think the defining factor for me is that this isn't trying to replicate the Rolex. The indices are baton indices rather than circular, Christopher Ward style hands, date placement at 6 o'clock. Definitely the same genre of watch, and the designers of Christopher Ward have obviously seen the Explorer 2, but it's not a complete copy. Does anyone want to talk about moral gray areas in watches? No. Especially Switzerland, who takes pride in their secrecy. But I think there are some real problems with homages, especially the real close copies. For one, intellectual property and design theft. Although these aren't trying to pass themselves off as counterfeit goods, these borrow heavily. I'd go as far as saying steal and skirt some real legal boundaries. Now, I do get it as well. Like, as someone who works in a creative space, it can be hard to compete with the big guys when you're a small upstart. Like, some of the big YouTube channels have entire script writers, people who think up clickable thumbnails, really good titles. They have people doing their entire videography. So yeah, it's going to be easier for those channels to come up with more original ideas because they have talented people doing that. And they also just have more time and space for that creative process. If you're a one-man band, you obviously can't be functioning at the same capacity. So I really get it. I just wonder how creatively fulfilling it could be to be a brand that just makes very close copies of watches that big brands have already made. The problem might be that they have cold piggly wigglies. Like, how are you gonna think up and be creative if your feet are cold? I couldn't do it if my feet were cold. And this is where we need to talk about today's fabulous video sponsor, Bombas. Didn't love that transition, but I do love Bombas. Let me tell you about them. So Bombas makes the most comfy socks ever for whatever your needs. They have sporty socks, cute socks. They have practical socks, like these compression socks, to help keep you comfortable on long flights. They even have baby socks. If you're not as familiar with Bombas, they're a purpose-driven brand, founded in 2013 after the founders learned that socks are the #1 most requested item at homeless shelters. They began a one purchased equals one donated business model, which is how they still operate. Bombas are comfy as, I think it's because they removed the seam from the sock. I don't know, but I love them. They are my most comfortable socks. and they even use premium materials like merino wool. They offer international shipping, so if you're stuck in the UK like me, or wherever you are in the world, they will probably ship to you. They ship to over 200 countries. They have donated over 150 million items, and they sell stuff you were going to buy anyways. Why not purchase them from a brand that is purpose-driven? Feel good and do good with Bombas, knowing your purchase is doing some real good in the dark old world we live in. New customers get 20% off their first purchase when they use my code. Go to bombas.com and use code BRIT20 at checkout for 20% off. Bombas rocks. I love them. I think you will too. And thank you so much to Bombas for sponsoring this video. I think there are some benefits to homages as well that deserve to be discussed. There's a reason why they are so prevalent and popular. Firstly, they create a level of accessibility to iconic designs. For example, this Steinhart looks shockingly similar to the Rolex Submariner 116610LV, colloquially called the Hulk. But it is priced for under €1,000, making it far more achievable for someone to have the Submariner look without paying the Submariner price. My only big pushback would be there are a lot of affordable dive watches out there that aren't ripping off the Submariner. You could get the Unimatic U1, €525, really cool, minimal, unique. The Hamilton Khaki Navy Scuba Automatic. It's a mouthful, but it's a more classical looking dive watch. The Laurier Neptune for something that is quite different. One of my favorite watches under $1,000 is the Certina Men's DS-PH 200 meters. I don't think there's a problem with making accessibly priced watches. I don't even mind if they're quite inspired by another watch. It's just when it feels like a one-for-one copy that it rubs me wrong. And the second benefit I can think of is that it gives a lot of brands a starting place. There's the famous Picasso quote, "Good artists copy, great artists steal," which implies that art is taking each other's ideas, borrowing from each other, and transforming it, making it into something new. And this is basically what humans have been doing since the start of civilization. We take what each other are doing, we look at it, if we like it, we remix it, we make it our own, and we make it better than it would have been if it had to be untouched over there. That's why there are certain cultural ways of dressing, food fusion. Once again, comparing it to the thing that I know the best, YouTube. This is what we're all doing. How many videos have you seen about Swiss watches not actually being made in Switzerland? This isn't new information at this point. Many creators have covered it. But I still click on almost every video that talks about this because I want to hear their unique perspective on it. Each video, to me, felt different. Or how many reviews have you seen of the Seamaster Diver 300? I've seen so many. I've made so many. But I keep tuning into these videos because I want to hear the presenter's unique take. And I think watches can be the same. Going back to the dive watch, if you want to create an external bezel unidirectional dive watch, I feel like there are only so many combinations of that design you can still do and still have it look good. Maybe you can experiment with material, colors, bracelets, hands, but at least have a go at making something that isn't a one-for-one copy of a pre-existing model. For under £1,000, there's the Baltic Aquascaf, the Timex Deepwater Reef 200, and the Nomadic Marai. For a higher budget, the Oris Aquas, Doxa, just Doxa, they have so many amazing divers. Going even higher in price, there's the Tudor FXD, Pelagus, Black Bay, all the Black Bays. Higher again, we've got Blancpain, Omega, Glashütte Original, CQ. There are so many ways to interpret this style of watch, we don't need to be doing one-for-one copies. Maybe that's the big distinguisher for me, and we need to create an entirely new category to prevent confusion. But how close to the original or how close to the inspiration is this watch? Did it take inspiration, but then add its own mustard? Or is it almost the same thing? You could easily be deceived if you saw someone wearing it and you couldn't see the logo. I would say that watches that put their own spin on it are true homages. They are paying tribute to a specific iconic model, but not blatantly copying it at a lower price. I move that we call these homages and these mimics. Let me know in the comments if you think this is correct or if you think it is way off. To finish this video, I'm going to say some strong thoughts, but I'm tucking it away at the end because I know these are spicy. I genuinely do not recommend buying the watches that are one-to-one copies. Even if you like the original so much, and I completely get what that's like, but these are way too close to copying. Like, I love the Nautilus, but I will probably never be buying something like this. There are so many affordable brands that make unique and great designs that you don't need to buy rip-offs with a cheaper movement inside. Buy a Studio Underdog or a Baltic or a Fears, or something more mainstream. You could get a Timex Casio Longines. If you want something really cool and you don't mind pre-owned, go look through Chrono24. Like, if there's a specific brand name you really want, you can probably find a vintage model for a good price. Okay, I think I've unclogged all the bitterness that was in me. I think I got it all out. Let me know in the comments if you think I was being too harsh, or if you agree, disagree. I don't know. But while you're down there, you should go click my Bombas link. I am actually buying George and I these matching slippers for this winter. And now, Pope tier patrons. Get their names on the screen. Hey guys, hey Pope tier patrons, hey all tier patrons. Thank you so much for supporting my weird little channel. I say it all the time and it's true. You guys keep the lights on here at Gringa HQ, and I use everything that comes in through Patreon to hopefully make this channel a little bit better. You might have noticed these last few videos my camera kept dying. So I've just bought like this perma battery that stays plugged in all the time, so that won't happen anymore, out of my Patreon money. So you guys genuinely make this channel better, hopefully make each video better than the last. And I really hope you keep enjoying the work that we do here. I love that my full-time job is talking about watches. I feel like I'm the luckiest person ever. It rocks. And I hope you keep enjoying it. Even if you don't keep enjoying this channel, I hope you keep enjoying watches forever. They're fantastic. You're fantastic. And thank you so, so much.